Previously.
Prudence, is it really you?
It's been a while. And I bet you have a lot of questions.
Officer Bell, I didn't tell anyone about your unauthorized copies of your former partner's files.
You don't mind if I borrow them, do you?
They saw you through the window as you were writing the message. I don't know how or why, but it was you, Delilah.
Do what you've always done best. Piss off.
Espa, I need your help. Could you come up for a minute?
I would feel better if you returned her into a garden gnome though. Something tells me we shouldn't leave her unsupervised until we know what's going on.
You're the witch hunters, aren't you? The ones responsible for the disappearance of a certain Dantalion Duplantier the Eighth. But I have no intention of arresting any of you. I want to join you.
Join us? What makes you think we're recruiting?
And even if we were, why would we want you of all people?
You just said it yourself. My grandfather Aiden Bell was your cousin. I'm already part of the family, might as well start helping with the family business.
If you heard that, how could you miss the part about your grandfather bringing shame on his family by feeling pity for the witches? We don't need yet another traitor in our midst.
I am not him.
You named your son after him.
I am not my son either. Jacob Aiden is just a teenager. He has yet to learn the difference between good and evil. And he will, as long as I'm there to set a good example.
I see. Say, Aaron, what do you fear the most?
What?
No need to say it out loud. Let your mind speak for itself.
Hey! What's happening? No!
Your greatest fear is losing your loved ones to a witch attack. A fear you've had since some occult curse nearly killed your wife many years ago, but it's gotten even worse since Evelyn's sister turned out to be a witch, just like her friends, the Mamminis. You never told her what you saw back then, did you?
Are you doing this? Stop it, please.
Stop it, please? Is that all you're going to say if and when the occults attack? If so, then you're even weaker than I thought. And I set the bar pretty low already.
Mother, it's enough.
You think so?
I agree with Prudence. Aaron may not be our strongest ally, but an ally nevertheless. And we don't have the numbers to be picky.
Me too, I believe him. He was Crispin's partner after all, even though he arrested me that one time.
If you all say so, you might be onto something. Alright, Aaron Bell, you're in. On probation. But that doesn't mean I trust you. You better prove yourself worthy sooner rather than later.
Well, I have something. There's that case my partner was working on before he died. It might help us expose a certain family of witches in Forgotten Hollow.
And now the news. The explosion of a car in Port Promise has residents of SetsunaMaiou no worried. Just about an hour ago.
What do you mean you lost my son? How could that happen?
No idea. I swear, we left him alone for 2 minutes at best. He was playing in the living room while Espa and I were assembling his crib upstairs, and when we returned, he was gone.
I knew we should have picked him up first thing after we got back from vacation.
And I was going to, after setting up this very strong moon barrier around our house. But now...
Guys, don't panic. If my miniature version was in any kind of danger, it would affect me, like back when the witch hunters were hurting a pregnant Leviathan. But I feel fine.
And your miniature version is part vampire, just like you. What if he discovered his ability to turn into a bat and is hiding in some corner under the ceiling?
We've already looked. The only thing we know for sure is that he's no longer in this house. But the door and windows were closed.
What if someone came in and kidnapped him while we were upstairs? I should have just taken him with me. Oh God, we're the worst babysitters ever.
So much for your plans to have babies of your own.
I'm so sorry, Tiamo. What can we do?
Look around in the streets of Shadow Vale. Maybe he did in fact turn into a bat and got out of the house somehow. Ask other residents about him and let us know if you see or hear anything.
Of course. We'll get on it right away.
And you? Surely you must have a plan too.
Yes, and you can help me with it. I'll try a guardian charm to teleport right to him. Should be the easiest thing ever, considering that we can use the blood of the adult version of who we're looking for.
I'll get the ingredients, although I'm not sure that will work in this particular case.
Whatever, get the ingredients anyway. But in case it really doesn't work, Wilbica and Leviathan, get in touch with Charles Henford, our living souvenir from Selvadorada. We broke his curse. He can return the favor by using his second sight to locate Mischief Mini.
Sure, but do we even know where he lives now?
Probably still in the magic realm. He's only been here since yesterday, even though it feels like weeks since we came back from Selvadorada.
Then off to the magic realm we go.
They have this machine. It looks like an observatory, but that's not what it is. It shot some kind of laser beam at Daryl's car the moment it entered its field of view, and then, boom. I should have seen it coming, but my second sight hasn't been working right since the death of my husband.
Then that machine must be the same thing that killed Dad, although I never got to see it in action while I was there. I only know that's what the witch hunters are using to keep us out of their domain these days.
But how does it work? Does it blow up anyone in its vicinity, or just witches? And how does it know who is a witch and who isn't? Are you sure there is no magic involved?
If anything, anti-magic. I couldn't destroy it with a spell. Then again, since I couldn't foresee what it was going to do either, maybe the rest of my magic is just as broken.
The technology of this century keeps astounding me.
Faye, Dantalion. Thanks for calling. I came as quickly as I could. What happened?
Well, we came here because we couldn't stand being at home anymore. That house has been too quiet since Dantalion died.
That's not what I meant, and you know that. The explosion in Port Promise. You implied that you had something to do with it.
In a way. I wanted to get back at my husband's murderers, so I decided to pay them a visit.
Excuse me?
For the record, I told her not to. I want the witch hunters to pay for what happened to my father, but not at the cost of my mother's life. That's why I didn't tell her where in SetsunaMaiou the witch hunters had been keeping me.
No, you didn't. It was me. I used my second sight and told her about it.
Charles, I've told you many times how very happy I am to have you here. Never thought I'd ever meet an ancestor of mine who was alive back in the time of the High Witches. But you can't use your superior powers to endanger my family.
I'm sorry, Amara. I only wanted to help end the witch hunter threat. If I had known your mother was planning to attack the base all by herself.
Actually, I'm her daughter. It only looks to be the other way around because of
magic, right? Sorry. I've met quite a few new people within the past 24 hours, but I'll learn who is who eventually.
Anyway, it wasn't supposed to be an attack on their base. Not yet. The attack would have come later, once we knew more about their numbers and facilities, so Daryl was sent in as a scout. But even that failed, because of their overpowered laser gun.
And if that gun really only goes off when a witch is nearby, they now know that we were trying to infiltrate their premises. Not the best start. You should have talked to the ageless sage first.
Should have, could have, would have, whatever. I'm a grieving widow. Allow me some stupidity.
No, being stupid isn't going to get us anywhere. Grandma is right. We should talk to the ageless sage.
What do you say, Adult Loki? Is Mischief Mini still relatively safe?
I can't tell. I don't feel exactly what he feels, only the consequences.
Perhaps this is all just a big misunderstanding. I'll find out in a second. Wish me luck.
I'll be here waiting for your call when things go sideways. I mean, if things go sideways. Sorry.
That was fast. But where is Mini Loki?
It didn't work. I must have forgotten an ingredient.
No, it worked just fine. You used my blood for the spell, so it led you to me. I was afraid this might happen.
But he's you. What did you do differently back on Sulani when you located Leviathan using this very same spell? If a modified sample of your own blood can lead you to another person, why not to another version of yourself?
I could tell you what I did in as much detail as you wish, but it wouldn't help us here. Leviathan is one of my fathers, but still a different individual. My younger self, not so much. Everything gets a lot more complicated when time travel or any kind of time manipulation is involved.
So can we use that other spell we tried on Sulani, reverse familiar summoning or something like that? I mean, we do have Bitch here.
To summon a person using their familiar, that person must have a familiar to begin with. Minimi might be related to this family by blood just like I am, but that doesn't automatically make Bitch his familiar unless he has made a conscious decision to accept her as such. And he's way too young to understand what that even means.
But apparently the familiar doesn't need to accept the other person in return, otherwise Lorenzo couldn't have summoned me as often as he did. That's so unfair.
So you're saying there's absolutely nothing we can do?
We could still try to find out who kidnapped my son and go after them the old-fashioned way. I have a feeling that Aaron Bell is involved, and that he's working with the witch hunters.
What gives you that idea?
These files I stole from the police department. Shortly before Crispin Henley died, he considered recruiting Aaron, who was his partner at the time, for the Children of the Sun, not least because the Bells seemed to be distant relatives of Prudence Lacroix. And while I was in the archive room, Julian von Hinton mentioned that Aaron had made unauthorized copies of Crispin's records. What if he found the witch hunter's contact details in one of the files and decided to join him after his partner's death?
He certainly seems like the type. Never made a secret of how much he hates witches.
What should we do with this information? Confront Aaron Bell directly?
Hello?
I suppose it will come to that sooner or later anyway.
Where is Jill?
Jill? Who?
Enough with the innocent act witch. Release Jill, or you'll never see your grandson again.
If you hurt him, I'll rip out your intestines and strangle you with them, completely without witchcraft. Do you hear me?
Mum, what's wrong? Who was that?
Someone with a vocoder, so I didn't recognize the voice. But it seems like the person looking for Jill is the same one that kidnapped my grandson.
And? Do you still think it's Delilah?
Whoever it is, has just signed their own death warrant.
You wouldn't think it could be this hard to find someone in the magic realm. It's not exactly a big place.
Maybe you were wrong, and Lord Henford isn't here anymore. He might have moved in with one of his descendants. But if we don't find him, what other clairvoyants do we know? There has to be someone out there who can help us.
My friend Jaden can see the future sometimes, but he doesn't have a lot of control over it.
Why not? Control can be learned. If I had an ability like that, I would do everything in my power to master it. And then I would use it all day to prevent bad things from happening, like people stealing other people's children.
We'll find Mini Loki, I promise.
Really? How can you be so sure? I grew up believing my parents had abandoned me, but what if that's not even true? What if I too was kidnapped, and they simply never found me? Screw magic and clairvoyance, we should talk to the SCIA instead. If Olga can find my parents, she should be able to find my son too.
Olga? What?
Oh look, there he is.
Please, Faye, calm down.
How am I supposed to do that? You told me to talk to the ageless sage, so here I am asking for his help, and what does he do? Nothing.
What would you like me to do?
Destroy the witch hunters. How hard can that be? If the stories about you are to be believed, you once electrocuted one of them with a sneeze.
True. I was there when it happened, but that was before the Children of the Sun had access to anti-magic technology.
Yeah, fuck that. I don't know how they do it, but no magic spells work on them as long as they're wearing their magic-proof rings.
Hello Wilbica and Leviathan, how are you doing?
Who cares? Whatever their problem is, unless it's also with the witch hunters, it can wait.
It might be. We don't know yet. But the witch hunters have kidnapped me before, so they might as well have kidnapped my son.
What? You mean, now? Is Loki missing? The adult or the kid version?
Does it matter? If they're behind this, that's just one more reason to put an end to their reign of terror for good. How many more witches will we let them kill before we take action? We're much stronger than them. I can't believe this has been going on for so long.
It has been going on since the dawn of time, because that's how the world works, the natural balance. Ever since the first of us discovered magic, there have been those who didn't want them to use it. And this conflict will continue for as long as there is magic in this world. Even if we manage to defeat the children of the sun, others will take their place, and if we defeat those as well, there will be others again. Perhaps it's better this way, because if we disturb the natural balance, who knows what kind of calamity might follow.
Calamity? What are you saying?
He's saying that he doesn't have a plan. Even after everything my family has done for him, he's not willing to help us, because it would be too inconvenient.
You know that's not true. Why don't you try to calm down and—
Stop telling me to calm down. I won't be calm again until my husband's murderers get what they deserve. And if none of you will help me, I'll find another way.
Mom, wait.
Charles, please tell me she's not going to do something stupid again.
It's unclear. Her thoughts and emotions are all over the place. But she meant it when she said that she won't find peace until her husband is avenged. Something big is going to happen soon, I can feel it.
Holy fuck. Even more problems is just what we needed.
It's astonishing that you can stay so calm, Loki. If some stranger had kidnapped my younger self and could literally kill me any second by killing him, I would be a lot more worried.
I am worried. But it wouldn't help our cause if I freaked out now, would it?
Oh, I wish I could just rationalize my fears away like that. But we're talking about my son.
Think about it from the kidnapper's perspective. The hostage is their leverage. If they kill him, they'll have nothing left to blackmail us with. Depending on how much they want Jillian back, they may not be willing to take that risk.
No one is killing any babies today, and nothing is going to stop us from getting ours back. Not even the witch hunter's watch horse.
What horse?
No, watch horse. The thing in the garden over there. Or am I just imagining that?
That's indeed a horse.
I already figured it wasn't a cow, but thanks for the confirmation.
I find them scary. Since when do the bells keep pets though?
Don't know, don't care. But if it looks at me funny, it will feel the wrath of my familiar.
I probably shouldn't mention this right now, but they say that Death rides a white horse. Just in case anyone was wondering.
Thank you for having me, Evelyn. I hope you don't mind 40 waiting in the garden. He's a good boy, but always needs company. I can't leave him at home alone.
Of course not. I love horses. I used to own a mare when I was younger. Her name was Elspeth, and she was the same breed as 40, just a different color.
Elspeth, huh? An unusual name these days.
Well, we have a theme when it comes to names in our family. My name is actually derived from the middle name of my father, Jonathan Evan Donovan. Elise is named in similar fashion after our mother, Catherine Elizabeth. And somehow my teenage self thought it was a good idea to name my horse after my mother too.
I named 40 after one of the 4 cardinal virtues, fortitudo.
So I figured. But that's not why you're here today, is it?
No. I was hoping we could continue where we left off at the family center. You said you needed time to think about everything, and it's been a month, so…
Oh, just a second.
Sure?
No idea who else would want to come by this late.
Good question.
Aya. I'm sorry, but this is not a good time.
I can see why. Just as I thought. I would ask what the hell she is doing here, but that would mean I'm surprised, and I'm not.
She was invited. You were not. Get out.
We will, as soon as you give me back my son. He's just a baby.
A baby? Aaron, what are they talking about?
I have absolutely no idea.
Of course you do. We know you're in bed with the witch hunters, just like your partner Crispin was. Prudence's presence merely caps it all off. What I don't understand is why you people keep digging yourselves deeper like this. You've kidnapped my children before, and Leviathan and Grande, and both times it didn't end well for you. Repeating the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome is the definition of insanity, according to Einstein.
That's probably why they changed their tactics and came up with this more elaborate plan this time. Instead of attacking us directly, as they did before, they first accused us of kidnapping somebody, as if to give themselves a reason, and later claimed that they would release their hostage if we released ours. But that was never really on the table, was it?
We can't go through with this, not again.
Is that so? You asked me to give Aaron Bell a chance, and I did, after he presented us with evidence that the Mamminis are responsible for the disappearance of Crispin Henley's cousin Gillian, an innocent mortal. So may I ask why you're suddenly conflicted about following that trail?
Well, when has attacking the witches directly ever worked in our favor?
You trying to fool me is another thing that has never worked, Prudence. Admit it, you're just afraid your personal Grim Reaper might come for you if he finds out that you're moving against the Mamminis. But fine, if it makes you feel better, let's come up with something more insidious.
The lady in pink. Are you sure? I thought that was Big D, the fashion icon who designed my new handbag.
Yes, also known as Delilah Goldblum, mother of Mammini.
She looks way too young to have a 60-year-old daughter.
They're a family of witches. Are you really that surprised?
Excuse me, is this seat taken? I'm a big fan of yours.
Let me guess. You're here for an autograph on your Anita handbag.
You read my mind. Now let me read yours. I have a couple of special assignments for you. The kind that you won't talk about to anyone. You won't even remember them once you're done.
Where is Jill? What a lame prank.
Mom, Dad, what's going on?
Nothing. Back to bed, both of you.
Why are you sending your children away? Don't you want them to know what you're doing? If not, how are you planning on recruiting them for your cause once they're older?
What cause? Is that why Prudence is here?
I told you to go back to sleep. As for you...
Oh God, Aaron. Put that gun away.
Whatever you want, the answer is no. Don't even think about trying to cast a spell on me. My ring will protect me. And I will protect my family, at any cost.
So will I.
I'm a father now too, and I will do anything to get my son back.
He's a vampire?
Your greatest fear is losing your loved ones to a witch attack.